Have you ever heard of a queen so fierce, so brilliant, that she brought one of Europe's most powerful empires to its knees? Forget what you think you know about history. Today, we're diving into the incredible, true story of a woman who defied an entire continent, a warrior queen who became a legend, Queen Nzinga of Ndongo and Matamba. Imagine this, it's the 17th century. The Portuguese have landed on the shores of West Central Africa, in what is now modern-day Angola. They're not here for a friendly visit. They're here for power, for resources, and most devastatingly, for people. The slave trade is booming, tearing families apart and destroying kingdoms. In the middle of this chaos is the kingdom of Ndongo, and its people, the Mabundu, are fighting for their very survival. This is the world Nzinga was born into. She wasn't just any princess. She was exceptionally intelligent, a skilled diplomat, and a military strategist from a young age. Her father, the king, recognized her talent and often included her in his royal court, a rare honor for a woman at the time. She learned the art of war, the subtleties of diplomacy, and, crucially, she learned about the Portuguese. She saw their tactics, understood their greed, and knew they were the greatest threat her people would ever face. When her brother became king, the situation grew desperate. The Portuguese were pushing further inland, capturing more people, and weakening Ndongo's power. In a last-ditch effort, her brother sent Nzinga to negotiate a peace treaty. This is where her legend truly begins. Picture the scene. Nzinga arrives at the Portuguese governor's headquarters in Luanda. In a calculated display of arrogance, the governor, Ju Correia de Souza, has only one chair in the room, his own. He's left a simple floor mat for Nzinga, intending to humiliate her and force her to look up to him. But Nzinga was not a woman to be intimidated. Without missing a beat, she signaled to one of her servants, who immediately knelt on all fours, creating a human throne for her. Nzinga sat down, meeting the governor's eyes at his own level. The entire room was stunned into silence. She had just turned his power play completely on its head, establishing herself as his equal before a single word of negotiation was spoken. During those talks, she showed her diplomatic genius. She spoke fluent Portuguese, which she had learned specifically to deal with them. She negotiated fiercely and secured a treaty that recognized Ndongo's sovereignty and promised an end to the slave raids. For a moment, it seemed peace was possible, but the Portuguese were not to be trusted. They soon broke their promises, and the conflict reignited with even more ferocity. After her brother's death, Nzinga became queen. But some of her own people, influenced by Portuguese propaganda and old traditions, refused to accept a female ruler. Undeterred, Nzinga didn't just fight the Portuguese. She also had to unite her own people. Facing enemies from all sides, she made a tactical retreat. She led her followers on a long march eastward, eventually conquering the nearby kingdom of Matamba. Here, she established a new power base, a formidable kingdom that became a safe haven for runaway slaves and those resisting the Portuguese. Matamba, under Queen Nzinga's rule, became the heart of the resistance. For the next 30 years, Queen Nzinga led a relentless war against the Portuguese. This wasn't just about random battles. She was a master strategist. She formed alliances with other African states and even with the Dutch, who were rivals of the Portuguese. She adopted new military tactics, learned to use firearms effectively, and personally led her armies into battle, often dressed as a man to inspire her soldiers. She became more than a queen. She was a symbol of freedom, a living legend who refused to bow. She would launch surprise guerrilla attacks, disrupting Portuguese supply lines and slave routes. She would appear where they least expected, a ghost in the landscape, striking hard and then vanishing. The Portuguese governors came and went, but Nzinga remained, a constant, defiant thorn in their side. They threw everything they had at her, but they could never conquer her. She outsmarted them, outmaneuvered them, and outfought them for decades. Think about the sheer resilience this required. For 30 years, she lived in a state of constant war, never giving up on her goal, a free land for her people. She adapted, she innovated, and she never, ever surrendered. Her life was a masterclass in leadership and resistance against overwhelming odds. In her later years, realizing that perpetual war was draining her kingdom, she once again turned to diplomacy. She was in her 60s by now, a seasoned warrior and ruler. She negotiated a new peace treaty with the Portuguese, one that was finally honored. She secured the independence of her kingdom, Matamba, and ensured it would live on. She dedicated the rest of her life to rebuilding her nation, transforming it from a war machine into a stable commercial state. When Queen Nzinga died peacefully in her 80s, she left behind an incredible legacy. She had successfully defended her people's freedom against a major European colonial power for over 3 decades. She had proven that a determined leader, regardless of gender, could stand up to tyranny and win. Her story is a powerful reminder of the countless stories of African resistance that are often left out of our history books. She wasn't just a victim of colonialism, she was an active, brilliant, and successful opponent of it. Queen Nzinga Mband was a diplomat, a general, a ruler, and a true inspiration. Her life shows us that courage and intelligence can be the most powerful weapons of all. I hope you found this story as incredible as I do. It's so important that we remember and share the legacies of heroes like Queen Nzinga. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to discover more hidden stories from history, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss a new video. See you next time.